Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Financially Free with Hughley. I'm your host, Jason Hughley, and today we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. If you know me well, or if you've heard me speak before, you may have heard this topic come up. Today we're going to talk about the ability to pay for it versus can I afford it? If you're like most people, there are things that you want in your life. New cars, new houses, another vacation, more lifestyle, something that represents a greater quality of life. And the question is, well, what's it cost? And that question comes down to two things. Can I pay for it, or can I afford it? Now, whether it costs $500, $5,000, $500,000, pay for it means just that. You can pay for it. You have the resources available to cover the cost. It can be absorbed. Now, you might have to make some changes. There may be some things you have to let go of. You might have to reduce the frequency with which you do some things. Maybe you don't go out to dinner twice a month. You only go out once a month. Maybe you start carpooling. Who knows? Depends on your circumstance. But you can make it happen. Affordability is something completely different. And if you haven't noticed by now, and you will come to know this, the words matter. To afford it means nothing has to change. No aspect of your lifestyle foregone, no part of my financial plan modified. There will be no adverse effects. Here's an example to make it simple for you. If you spend your entire savings on it and you have no plan to replace that money in a very short period of time, you can't afford it. You can pay for it. You've got the money, but you cannot afford it. Many times we make decisions based upon what we think might happen, hoping that what we can pay for becomes something we can afford. It's a very backwards way to go about things, but happens all the time. The reality is that this isn't really something that we only have to think about when it comes to the things we want in life. For the last few decades and this entire century until recently, inflation has been relatively low in America. There are many countries that cannot say they've been so fortunate. The result for many people is that they have had the opportunity to get ahead, especially if their wages grew at some multiple of inflation. Recently, however, inflation has accelerated. Whether you've been to the grocery store or the gas station or been trying to get a remodel on your home, you have noticed this. And this makes the question of paying for it versus affording it so much more important in the decision-making process, especially over a long period of time. For this reason, having a plan is of vital importance. Yeah, it helps you forecast a pathway to your long-term goals, and it can help you to identify where you can put things into perspective to make them more realistic. But it also helps you to go from being able to pay for things in your life to truly being able to afford them, being proactive as opposed to reactive with your life. One surefire way to know that you can always afford something is to have been planning for it all along. If you've been setting aside $500 a month to pay yourself for that car you want to buy, when the car note comes, of course you can afford it. You've already been planning for it. But whether you're concerned about inflation or retirement, worried about college or debt, or anything in between, a plan is a great place to start. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Financially Free with Hughley. Look forward to seeing you soon. Have a blessed day.